Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. This weekend, Ring 4, major card. But we're here to talk about Bam Rodriguez. He's got a big fight taking on Fernando Martinez to get yet another belt. This will be for the super flyweight, WBA Ring, WBO and WBC, leaving only the IBF with Willibaldo Garcia. But Bam Rodriguez at 25 years of age, he's the guy that we're talking about this video, and he's someone that for me has everything ability-wise to be an absolute superstar, a pound-for-pound star, number one on the pound-for-pound list. At 25 years of age, 22 wins, 15 knockouts, 0 losses, and he's 2 fights away from becoming undisputed at super flyweight. This is a good fight for him. Fernando Martinez, he's been around a very long time, 34 years of age, 18 wins, 9 knockouts, 0 losses. He's coming off back-to-back victories in Japan. He's the WBA super flyweight champion, and I do think he's a better fighter than what Cafu was for Bam Rodriguez. Cafu, his last fight, was he just offered nothing in that fight. He offered absolutely nothing. I guess the only good thing about the fight that I heard Bam say was it gave me a new puzzle to solve. And I thought that was good. He took the poor showing from Cafu and thought, well, I'm going to take this as an advantage to me. It'll give me a new style, a new puzzle to solve it, and give him experience, because we know when you come forward against Bam, when you offer something against Bam, he will pick you apart. Cafu tried to shell up that whole fight, and Bam Rodriguez had to create those angles himself. He had to find the openings himself, and eventually he did, and it was a very good win. Like I said, the opponent wasn't what we hoped he was going to be, or what we might have thought he could have been, but Bam Rodriguez, you got to give him credit, because this guy here, at 25 years of age, like I said, I think he's one of the most, if he's not the most, skillful and talented young fighter in the world right now. And I think he's someone that in a few years should be topping the bill of pound for pound. And there's a reason I say that, because at super flyweight, I know he's very small, but at super flyweight, if he can win this fight against Fernando Martinez, as I'm tipping him to do, because although Fernando Martinez is good, Bam Rodriguez is just on another level. Bam Rodriguez can very easily win this fight, unify another belt, go and chase down that IBF belt, win that. And then you're looking at bantamweight, super bantamweight, or higher, or featherweight, whatever division you want to look at. I would stress that he goes to bantamweight next, because the landscape at bantamweight is piss poor. There is really no one in and around bantamweight that you've got to run through. I think Bam Rodriguez, if he becomes undisputed at Superfly, he can get whatever fight he wants at bantamweight. There's even vacant belts at bantamweight, so I don't think it would take Bam very long at all to become unified, become undisputed at bantamweight. And like I said, he's 25 years of age. We know that there's big names out there like Junto, like Nick Ball, like Inoue, but the problem with those guys is Nick Ball's a few divisions higher than you. Inoue and Junto are 2 divisions higher than you, and they're all sort of occupied at the moment. So it's not as though he can jump right now and get those fights. So I still think he's got plenty of time to build up to that. And if you can become undisputed at bantamweight, or even unified at bantamweight before moving to super bantamweight, it'll just help your pound for pound status. It'll add more belts. I think it's quite an easy division to conquer for Bam Rodriguez. And we're going to see Bam for the next 10 years. There's no need to rush it, because this guy here, I'm saying, is a superstar. The one thing I will say about Bam Rodriguez, and this is my constant criticism of him, this is not boxing related at all, it's his personality. He is the kindest, nicest guy. I've never seen him say a bad word about anyone. And as though we love that in him as a human being, and it's a great thing. I see him working in that coffee shop and all sorts. But I saw the other day him being interviewed. I think it was by Showbiz the Adult. Great guy. And Showbiz was trying to get something out of him, like get a call out from Bam, say who you want to fight. He gave him the opportunity. He was like, what do you think of Inoue? What do you think of this guy? And he was just so respectful of all these guys. And as good as that is at a human level, in this game, you want to build, you want to get these fights. Sometimes you've got to play the villain, and it's not in him, but to become a star, become the star that I think he can be and should be, topping main events. Like, we look at this card here, and he's fighting for the most belts on the card. He is arguably one of the most talented fighters on this card, and he's at the bottom. He's at the bottom. As of right now, he is at the bottom. He's below Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes. He's below Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney. He's below David Benavidez and Anthony Yard. And I think he might be, pound for pound, the best one out of them all. And because he's so softly spoken and so humble and so respectful, he doesn't get the sort of media attention that some of these other guys have. You see someone like Canelo Alvarez, and the way that he's built his career into an absolute superstar. Even when he wasn't speaking English, the guy was breaking the mold through all of the world because he was able to fight very well, but he had a personality. He was able to aggravate other people. He was happy to play the villain when he had to play the villain. That's something that Bam Rodriguez, I don't know whether he'll ever do, but if he wants to become the superstar that matches his boxing ability, I think he needs to start grabbing that microphone and telling the world who he is and what he wants, because he's going to soon be, in my opinion, undisputed at super flyweight. That's when you can start making demands. You move up to bantamweight and you start unifying. That's when you start making demands. And for me, Bam Rodriguez needs to start making those demands. And the other thing I will say is, I think he's been a bit unlucky, like that Cafu fight. The fact that they booked him to fight on that day, where we had Fundora fighting with Manny Pacquiao on that card, and we had the heavyweight championship undisputed bout on the same day. No eyes were on Bam Rodriguez. This fight here, although it's at the bottom of the bill, there will be eyes on him. There's only 4 fights. Most people will sit and watch every single fight. I know I will. Maybe the stadium won't fill in for the first fight, but I think anybody that buys the pay-per-view will be watching from the start, and he needs that traction. He needs to be on these big cards. Although this is the first one that he's sort of on, but he's at the bottom of the bill. Go out there and tear through Fernando Martinez. Grab that mic. Tell Wilbaldo Garcia that he's next and you're coming for undisputed, and get some talking around you, because I think he is a hidden gem that shouldn't be hidden, because he's been in so many fights. He's so talented, and he's soon going to be undisputed. So that is my talk about Bam Rodriguez. That's what I think. In terms of the fight, we haven't really spoken about it, but I think I've touched in and out of it anyway. I think Bam Rodriguez needs to come in here and make a statement, and I think he will. I think he'll pick apart Fernando Martinez like he's done every other opponent. Although Fernando Martinez is an experienced opponent, I think he'll come out and he'll offer something a lot more than what Cafu did, but I don't think it'll be enough. And I think Bam Rodriguez, I actually think he'll get a late stoppage. That's my opinion. Guys, jump in the comments, let me know. I've just made a Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney video, so check that out. More videos to come this week. Subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 300. I'd love to get there by the end of the year. Ambitious, yes, I know, but we're doing daily content here, guys. Lots of interaction on the channel. Let's get there. Like the video. Chuck your thoughts in the comments below, and I'm out of here, guys. See yous.